freelance nun and actor, here to answer your spiritual questions, conundrums, comments, and concerns. So I also do want to turn on that light. I'm wearing my favorite Mr. Rogers-esque sweater, and that's kind of how I like to think about this, that we are gathered here as friends. I do have experience, teachings I can share, but yeah, it's about sitting together in the circle. So enjoy the sweater. Let there be light. We're talking about inner peace here. And I've mentioned I'm a freelance nun, which basically means that I see wisdom in all paths. I'm not here to convert people to me. I'm here to support them in their own truths. And so someone had shared this question in a workshop before. This desire for peace, a willingness for peace, but fear of, what if it goes away? So I'd actually like to just feel that for a moment. If you bring up this idea of peace, whatever that means to you, maybe you feel something in your body, maybe you see an image of a beautiful place like Yellowstone. And this is just going to be a light temperature check exploration, but think of that going away. Whatever that means to you or whatever popped in your mind automatically. Notice how you're feeling. We'll come back together here. You can just take a nice steady breath. Tea. I need a little more tea. Yeah, I have had these feels a lot too. I know, I don't want it to go away either. And there's a perspective shift here that can make it going away not just, well, it's normal and you get used to it. And that doesn't mean that you become passive. Like, I don't want to picture a place like Yellowstone going away. I want to take action to keep it here, you know? But I give these workshops centered around understanding some language around inner peace and the path to peace as I summarize it, as I synthesize it from all these world traditions. So I'd like to share with you some of my famous graphics, which I'm pretty sure is not the word, but I just feel, I don't know, maybe it's the sweater, just maybe a little old-fashioned and uh yeah. So let me just, ooh, okay. I thought I had it open. There we go. It was 3 clicks away instead of 1. Oh my God. Ruining it. Okay. So some of you have seen this before, but every time is new. So that beginner's mind that these annoying nuns and monks talk about. Oh, take it in. I love when I can lay things out so clearly and so succinctly. This should also say on the page that this is my string theory, because I have to get our dear friend out here. So just take this in. It's okay if you don't quite understand. We're gonna go through this much quicker than I do in the workshop. We're gonna get to the flip really quick here. Stage one. Don't like it. Okay, chaos. All right. Why didn't I eat breakfast? Is she gonna respond to my email? I'm waiting. And oh, that smells good. Wait, what am I doing? Yeah, not liking this is what brought you here. It's good that you're recognizing I don't want to live here and only here. And I agree. Again, with the baggage that comes with being a nun or part nun, we are not here to suffer. Suffering is not a required part of living. It is not at the root of everything. There's been a lot of misconceptions about suffering. Um, oh, and if there's time today, yeah, I might get to something I mentioned in the last video about just my thoughts around how this whole idea of heaven being far away developed, because there's nothing closer than inner peace. It's right here, right now, all the time, if you want it to be. But wait, yeah, I do want it to be. I don't want this. Why am I not feeling it all of the time? You know, what if it does go away when I get it? So, like I mentioned, we're just gonna, oh, oh, okay, sorry. Again, 3 clicks. I'm gonna have to take 3 clicks here. Um, yep. Okay. Okay. What just happened? Yeah, normally there's about 20 minutes of talking in between the first image and this one, but maybe I'll like this much better. The first image, I'll come back. The first image is how a lot of information is currently presented and has been for the recent century or so. Things in a line, numbers are in order, and we go from 1, 2, 3, then we get to 4, that part. And sometimes it is like that. That is part of the process and the way we go through learning any particular skill. But that's just not how spirit works. And spirit is not confined to where are all these straight lines coming from? Okay. I look in nature, I don't see straight lines. In acting, the technique I study, we say there's no straight lines in acting, but you can see behind me. there's a lot of conditioning around that linear thinking. And I talk about this in the video for the previous session. That's not inherently wrong. It's okay to have that rational, organized, logical, we're going to go through all the points one by one by one by one. That has a goodness, that brings good things into the world. And oh, if that's all that you live with, it's kind of inevitable that not quite sure how. I don't want to go into a big theory right now, but the impression has there's an impression that that's all there is that kind of thinking. Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3 follows 4, but wait a minute, isn't yeah, there it is. The we're already in stage 4. Yeah, I put it as east on this diagram. Oh boy, that could get kind of messy and technical to talk about that part. Let's just ignore the east. We're all already inside this circle, this earth, this compass. And yeah, there isn't a straight line at any given moment. You could be facing any direction. Oh, that's why the east is there. Because you could be facing towards that oneness, that unity. And then the next moment, whoops, the chaos is here. Ah, it followed me. What? No. I should have been on the big screen for that last, but dang it. That first image, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want number 4. That's the mindset that creates the fear of, but what if it goes away? Again, going back to our compass, is it possible to go away? And again, you might be oriented in a certain direction, which is a metaphor for a certain feeling or behavior choice, but you're not stuck there. You're not outside the circle. It's just a direction, the direction of the moment that you happen to. You were so good at that. Pause. Pause. Check in. Let's check in. Take a breath. Your eyes can be open or closed. And again, this is just let it be loose, whatever comes to mind. If you bring to mind this compass, just see if you have a natural sense of where you are in that circle. What direction are you facing? Are you more in the center or the perimeter? Take another nice breath. And actually, yeah, for just a few breaths, let go of the image of the circle, just it's gone. Really feel the sensations of breathing. It might help to breathe a little more slowly, maybe a little deeper. You might notice other sensations or thoughts coming up, but really, really just feel the sensations of breathing. We'll come back together in a moment here, but just check in again with your compass. Notice if there's any difference with where you are in the circle. There might be no change, a millimeter of change. You can just gently let that fade into the background. We'll come back together here, or you can stay in a relaxed, concentrated state if you'd like. We're getting to this fear of it going away. I've definitely felt that a lot. And for me, there have been other feelings involved that I had to sort through. Yeah, what is it? What does that represent to you? Um, but what has really helped me the most with letting go of this is being in my body. What kind of a nun am I? I love the body. It's perfect. Um, well, and I say a lot more about that in the other video, but it can be hard to notice when we're stuck here. I have another diagram that is that famous one click away. Mm. Oh, and just gosh, I need to update my diagrams, my graphics. So just ignore diagram D. Just take a look at what's going on here and compare that to the compass image. If all possibilities are available in any moment from the perspective of oneness and unity, if we're all already in stage 4, some might call emptiness. Well, come on, we can't leave chaos out. Chaos has something to say about this. And wouldn't you know it, all possibilities also exist from the perspective of chaos. So you might notice some of these lovely circular unified stage 4 ovals. Oval is such a disappointing word, but that could be a great accomplishment. Working really hard and completing it. And then now what? Uh, this could be a drug high. Uh, it could even be a spiritual insight. Like this insight I had when I was 13. I did not then become a nun. Here, I'll come back. If I'd lived hundreds of years ago, in Europe, where my ancestors are from, and I'd had a similar revelation, I might have just gone to a monastery then. One of my someone I admire and have mentioned before in a workshop or a few, Santa Teresa of Avila. Yeah, she did know when she was young that she was gonna be a nun, and her family tried to dissuade her, but she snuck out in the middle of the night when she was an older teenager, or like maybe she was 16. Um, but yeah, then once she'd snuck in, her family would have lost face to really like get her back out. So, and then she actually later went on to be very sneaky. Maybe this is why I admire her a little bit. Uh, she just became very good at understanding the legal particularities of the time period where she lived in. And she lived in a very dangerous time to be a religious person. This was the Inquisition, and I took this whole class when I was back living here in Montana when I was in university about how did people tell the difference between a saint, a witch, or uh, a prostitute, really. Um, so yeah, these were not times to be a really bold spiritual. Like Santa Teresa could not have been on Zoom in her day, but she believed in what she was doing, and she wanted to create spaces for women to find the peace that she had found. Of course, you are not all Catholic, and I'm sure there's things she said and did that for non-Catholics or even for Catholics are like, yeah, we wouldn't do it that way now or disagree. But she would just find these windows where she'd sneak into a town in the middle of the night and with some new sisters. And then once the morning came, it was like, well, we're already living here. You can't kick us out. Even though that town had mandated, no more new monasteries. We're done with convents and monasteries. So she would find homes for her sisters, basically, in these very savvy ways. I've strayed a bit. I'm sharing these stories from some people I admire here, but then I got a little bit lost here for a moment, right? Okay, no, we were with diagram D, and again, coming back to that, I'm still answering the question of fear of it going away. Let's check in again. And just asking yourself open-ended, no need to find an answer. How open or closed do you feel? And maybe get a little bit more specific. How open or closed do you feel to peace, to having peace in your life? And again, you're just kind of not looking for an answer. If an answer shows up, you can see that, set it aside, and ask again. You're really trying to sink into any feelings that are coming up, a response in your body. And for right now, whatever you're noticing is okay. You won't feel that way forever. And just, yeah, again, notice if there's hesitation or a rushing, maybe a grabbing, like, I want it. Noticing your stance, your attitude on the inside to this idea of peace. We'll come back together here again. Ooh, nice breath. Take a breath that feels good. Hmm. Let it be easy. You want to move a little bit here. We're yeah, we've been here for about 45 minutes. Let me go back to this one. I can offer a ray of hope. It's right above my head. I think most of you are not consistently in stage one. What I'm seeing more is people who are in stage two, which, if you're new to this, I have purposefully left official names of these stages out. So you can make your own association with that image or the idea of stage two. Um, huh? How do we go from two lopsided things to one beautiful? And I'm gonna say this is sexy. Okay. What's the difference between an oval and an eight? It's sexiness. Some say it's just a belt, but right. I mean, even just looking at stage two, stage three images for me can bring up uh, this kind of awkwardness. Like, but I wanna, how? How do I get over? Um, and that's where every spiritual teacher is going to give you a different answer. Let me go back to what I just shared. Gosh, okay. I'm just smiling to myself because I have another story from a Christian saint, and I'm not actually Christian, but maybe I'm just stupid. But both Santa Teresa and this other uh, Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, or Clairvaux, they talked about the entire spiritual journey as it's possible to break it down into four stages. And anyone in any one of these stages will have certain similarities. Um, but they describe it differently using different metaphors. And one of them was alive hundreds of years before the other, so they weren't in touch with each other. But I can just give you three quick examples of the many different answers you might find in stage two, or how to get from stage two to stage three. So yeah, this is like nitty gritty fast. Santa Teresa's answer to this, and part of what inspired me to present the path to peace as doable in these four stages, or trying to break it down from the 9 billion people and possible paths to peace to four is a bit more of a doable number. Um, she used a gardening analogy, and that stage one is similar to that proverbial the river is a mile away, it's uphill both ways. No, it's not snowing. Or well, no, yeah, in Castile, I think they might get a little snow, but not during the gardening season. Usually very hot and dry. Right, so it's hot, it's dry, it's uphill both ways. You have these buckets. By the time you get down, most of the water is sloshed out. That's the not fun gardening. But if you put in the work, put in the time, then it's kind of like this pump gets installed. It's right next to the garden. You still have to pump and then use buckets to water, but that hill is gone. You don't have to do that. Then the stage three, that I call the sexy figure eight, that's like having an irrigation canal. Yeah, look, I can just enjoy this now. I didn't have to pump the water to get it. Mm. Just let those irrigation canals run, oh, yeah, okay. Sometimes one gets backed up, you have to do a little maintenance, but there's a lot of self-sufficiency. Energy just, and believe the figure eight is also referenced in this acting technique that I study as the flow pattern that you're kind of going for here. How to let emotions come up, express, change based on what is happening, let go, new emotion. And maybe that's part of what makes me a quick side detour here, a very unique nun, is I've learned quite a lot from my acting studies and practice. I'm working this Saturday, okay? Working actress here. It's exciting. Irrigation canal, I'm talking about the sexy figure eight. The acting technique does not call it sexy figure eight, unfortunately. And then in Santa Teresa's version, God just reigns. So the version of Saint Bernard of, and I'm going to give other versions in like modern non-Christian language. So just hang on one more second here. Saint Bernard, I haven't brought it to mind in a minute here. So I believe oh yes. Yes, I love it. Well, very well said here. Stage one, ego. Me, mine. Stage two, maybe a dawning awareness of a divinity, something more to this human life. He called this the bargaining stage. Crystal clear sight right there. I love that. The way stage 3 and 4 were expressed was a bit more poetic, so it might be harder for me to remember. I think stage 3, oh, I just want to be careful how I say this. God's love feels good. I feel God's love. Stage 4, love just is. God just is. I can tell you, going back to our horse example from the last video, and just briefly, going from stage 2 to stage 3, I have to be in my body and stop that logical overthinking, rationalizing, gonna slip into this kind of mind. I have to let go of it. I have to let go. And yeah, the way things stand now with my horseback riding, okay, I am nowhere near these ultimate warrior athletes and riding one horse for 3 miles bareback, jumping off, jumping onto a new horse, also bareback, 3 more miles, 3 horses. I'm present for like a minute, 2 minutes. I might even be able to share a video. And then it goes away. Is it my lack of concentration? Is it that I'm learning the skills of trying to ride? Many reasons. But little by little, that act of being in my body with people in a place where I feel safe enough, letting go of that thinking mind, then I have an actual experience of that stage 3 and it gets in my muscle memory and it does go away quickly in my horseback riding. And I have another example coming right up here. Dang it. And I get disappointed in myself. It felt better. I want to feel better again. it's humbling. I'm like, why can't I trot in this small arena? Why can't I go around it twice, really in the present moment and at peace and just in my body? Because yeah, again, this is maybe a unique situation, but if I'm really just only focused on my solar plexus, the rest of my body has learned how to stay balanced on the horse and let go in a way that is safe so that the horse can move freely. Because if a rider's too tight, that affects the horse's back too, that it's not going to get safer the tighter the rider is. That I don't know why when I grab this pen. Um, I can radically simplify and just focus on my solar plexus. It feels great. And I need practice. I'm still learning how to trust that, how to stay there. Will I be able to apply this in all areas of life? I have no idea. I think it'll apply to more places in life than just horseback riding, but that doesn't matter. Again, it's even if it's only for a second, that adds up. That's a moment of memory for your body. And yeah, I think it's coming more to popular culture now, this idea that our bodies are not stupid, dumb animals that we need to have submit. They're actually alive and very smart and know quite a lot that this thinking mind, it's not going to get. Let me show you. Oh my gosh, I haven't done this yet. Or maybe from your perspective, this is the chaos. I always get turned around with cameras. Do you see the difference? I don't like this complexity. I'm letting it go right now. That's for real. I don't even like picking that up. We have different colors, all kinds of different angles. Again, is that emptiness in the middle? Like, oh. Togetherness, unity, wholeness. That's the feeling of being present. That's inner peace. It's okay if it only lasts for 1 second. You get that memory in your body of there's a difference. It should feel easier. It should feel better. And it's definitely true in horseback riding. I'm beginning to trust it more in life as well, but you can gauge how well the riding is going by how heavy or light the horse feels. And it's amazing how much time I can spend in it feeling like heavy and hard. And I'm trying. Yeah, I'm over trying. I'm overthinking it. Need to let go, get present, trust the body and what it has learned. Its ability to, the body only lives in the present, basically. It, okay, I just opened up a can of worms and we're at the end. It does have past memory as well. But I'm gonna go back to one more image. My way of explaining the 4 stages, which is not to invalidate the others that I shared. It's gonna go away. It is not literally possible to be facing north and going north all of the time. There, again, the contradictions though. There is a certain hurdle, a certain hump though, that once you spend more and more time in that stage 3, you're spending more and more time there. And it becomes immediately apparent if there's a drift towards, whoa, no, that does not align with my values. I don't want to do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm back in inner peace. And for some of you, this is going to be a lot easier. For some of you, it's a lot harder. Again, this compass is on the inside, really attuning to where you feel light, easy. Where does it feel easy? It gets to feel easy. And where do you get all tangled up? Where are you knotted? And just observe how you respond to life, how you're responding to your inner voice. And maybe one reason I talk about horseback riding so much lately is we can draw a lot of parallels, metaphors with in real life, nobody wants to see a human on a horse just being a total asshole. Like nobody likes seeing that, but sometimes we do. Um, although, yeah, I haven't seen that where I've been now. So, um, see, I'm getting tired. Yeah, we're at time. But see, yeah, that I just did. I just did it. I just demonstrated it. I'm just enjoying talking about this and making connections. And my body just gave me the sign of like, okay, it's been the hour, Juniper, and tired. So okay. I think you do have the gist here, but again, whether or not you're really a horse person, you can set aside this metaphor if it doesn't work for you, but is it possible to notice a discrepancy? The mind thinking one thing, the body saying other things like, no, I don't want to, or I'm thirsty now. Also true. And yeah, just for now, just notice discrepancy. And when there isn't discrepancy, where does it feel light and easy? And for now, that's all you need to do with all the stories I just told and all of those images. And is it 4 stages in a row, or are we all in this circle together right now? You can go and you can watch this again. But really, yes, your homework, I'm going to be teacherly now. Your homework is to really just notice how open or closed do you feel to being in your body, and this idea of finding peace in the body. And just notice any discrepancy between thoughts in your mind and what the body is communicating. And that's enough for now. We can touch on these points again in future sessions. You can email me if you have questions. Thank you so much for joining me. You can see I get very carried away here. And yeah, sometimes I do like to take quite a lot of time to, I still feel I didn't quite answer this question, but we have been talking to it, talking with it. And for now, yeah, I think that's very valuable to notice if that's going on with you, this fear of it going away, fear of the present moment. I don't really want to be in my body. Yeah. How are you navigating the compass? So thanks again so much. And I look forward to our next session.